Hey everyone, thank you so much for hopping on. My name is Lauren Sims, and I have the complete privilege and honor to interview not only one of my best friends in the whole world and just a light in this world. She's an amazing mom and wife and friend, but she also has just one of the most inspirational stories of anybody I know in our company, definitely in our team. And I was thinking the other day that, we all kind of start to tell ourselves stories about the holidays and how people can't afford, programs over the holidays because they have to travel or they've got to do Santa shopping, or people really don't want to make a health change over the holidays, that people are like, oh, I'll do it in January, that they're going to put off the next 60 days and wait till New Year's to make a resolution, when inevitably, like, the time is now. And I started thinking about Alex's story, and not only, where she was suffering in silence physically, but also emotionally and also financially, and how Isagenix came into her life at just really, really premier timing and what it did for her. So I'm going to allow her to share the story. But you guys, the purpose of this call is just to inspire you, to encourage you, and to know that it's not up to us to post judgment on anyone on who can do this and when they can do it. There's never going to be a perfect time in your eyes for someone, but you never know when it's their perfect time. And I personally believe the holidays are the best time to really gift this, whether you're gifting health, you're gifting wealth, you're gifting culture, inspiration, positivity, and love. We have something so special for so many people. So with no further ado, I want to bring onto the line Alex Sabot. She is a crystal executive in Isagenix. She is the mom of 2 little boys. She is married for over 10 years. She was a former teacher, which she retired from earlier this year. She's creative. She's got marketing skills, graphic design skills. She's an artist like nobody's business, but most of all, she's a lover and she's fun, and she's got a great, great story. So I'm going to mute my line and let you take it away, girl.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be on this today. It's interesting because I would never have thought getting started with this, that this story would be something that people would want to hear. But it's definitely been the core of why I've done this for so long now. Before Isagenix came into my life, I was, like many people, busy, tired, overweight, and just exhausted. And I felt so stuck in a life that I didn't recognize. I didn't know what to do. And I was lucky enough to have a friend mention the products to me because she knew that I needed something to jumpstart my health. And that was what I thought was causing all of my problems, was that I didn't feel good. I was so tired. I was not fitting into my clothes. The holidays were coming and I couldn't fit into my little black dress. I was feeling very not myself. And so when she introduced the products to me, I didn't hesitate, although I was skeptical because, like many people, I tried so many things and I didn't want to fail again. So I quickly called my mom and my sister and I said, I'm not going to do this alone. So I need to do this. So will you please do this with me? And of course, they're my lifelong accountability partners. So they decided, sure, why not? Let's do this. So we did. And my husband and I were both teachers at the time. And that was something that caused a lot of the stress. I did want my health back, but I also really needed some financial help and I didn't know how to get that. So I figured if I could get my health under control, then we could tackle the finances. What I didn't know was that it was all going to come in one big brown box, because I set up myself without even knowing it for residual income. And if you don't know what that means, that's something you need to learn about, because I did not know what that meant when I first started Isagenix. So within a week of using the products, everything physically started to change for me. And I thought, wow, this is for real. This is like something unlike anything I've ever tried before. Immediately releasing the pounds, my pants were fitting better. I was sleeping better. I was more present for my kids. I mean, it was just an amazing transformation just in the first week, and then the second week as well. And so by the time I had been on the products for a couple of weeks, my friend who had introduced me to Isagenix called me and she said, I think that you need to check your email. And I didn't know what she meant by that, but what she didn't know was that my husband and I had been spending many, many days fighting, arguing, struggling with the idea of the holidays coming up. So it was the same time in 2014 as it is right now, and we had negative dollars in the bank account and no hope of doing Christmas for the kids. So that was a very scary realization that had never happened to us before, but it was a very real situation that we were in, and trying to figure out what our options were. Were we going to have to skip Christmas or ask for help from our parents? We didn't know what we were going to do. So my friend who introduced me to Isagenix didn't know any of that was going on, but did tell me to check my email because I had gotten an email from Isagenix. So I checked my email, and sure enough, there was an email there from Isagenix saying, congratulations, you have received $300 from enrolling 2 people into these products and introducing them to these products. And at first I didn't believe that was happening. So I had my husband come look at the email. I said, is this legit? Is this for real? And he's like, what did you do to earn $300? This is unbelievable. So I immediately turned off the computer and I said, I will be back. And I took that ISA wallet card that I had received in the mail, and I drove myself over to Target in my minivan, walked down the aisles of the toys, and just started loading toys into the cart. And I was just a mess. I was sobbing hysterically because it was like a dream. I did not expect that to happen. And with all of the stress and the pressure that we had been putting on ourselves, all of a sudden it was a relief. And all of the people in the aisles were looking at me like, what is wrong with this woman? Why is she so upset? So I filled the cart and I walked to the checkout line and closed my eyes and hoped to God that the card was going to work, because my cart was overflowing with toys for the kids. And I swiped that card, and when it said approved, I made a promise to myself that I would never feel that way again. And so now, fast forward, I've been doing this now for a couple of years, and through those 2 years, I have come across so many other moms struggling with the same thing. And in the beginning, I felt like I was alone. I felt like I was the only person dealing with those stresses. Obviously, the weight loss was my initial need, but I didn't realize all of this other stuff that it would open up for us. So I have really dedicated my time to finding these other parents who are struggling with this and showing them how easy it is to take back control of your health and take back control of your life, and how quickly it can change. I mean, I'm coming up on our 3rd Christmas now as part of this amazing community, and I think every year it gets more exciting because I know not only is our Christmas going to be amazing, but all of the people that I've come in contact with and shown them how to do this, theirs will be amazing too. And it's just this trickle effect that is like nothing else. It's truly something that is a gift for other people. And who would have thought that it all started with that brown box that came to my door 2 years ago? So I just am so grateful for the way I feel now and for the changes in my life. And through this process, through meeting these people, I have been able to really take control of myself, my life. I even was able to leave teaching and to make that financial change in our life as well. So I just can't even begin to explain the gratitude I have for this team, this company, and the opportunities that I have been given. So that's kind of where I'm at now, Lauren. I can't hear you.
I'm not used to the one muting. I just wanted to be quiet for you. Every time I hear your story, it's hard like not to have the waterworks just turn on. You know, it still makes me, you know, feel inspired and warm and fuzzies for you. You said a couple of things that I want to ask you about and just kind of elaborate, just because we might have listeners, you know, that watch this that are brand new, and we might be speaking Iso-Latin to them, or maybe they're not even a part of this. And like, what products, like, what did she do? Or, you know, the idea is that there's people out there that are suffering in silence, physically or financially, and we're hoping that your story can be the light for others. You know, that there was a time in your life that you were in a lot of darkness, and now that you know, are really shining your light, that we can go light up the world and pass that on. But for people that are not familiar with what we're talking about, I just want to go back a little bit so that we don't lose anybody in this discussion. But when you talked about, you know, that your jeans weren't fitting and you were tired and irritable, and, you know, the little black dress was not going to happen, and your friend introduced you to the products, if you can go back and remember, November, December of, 2014, exactly how you were feeling and what it was that she said that you were willing to give this a look, where you said you had tried everything else, like why this, and how you knew that you couldn't have afforded anything, right? You knew you weren't going to be able to afford Christmas. Like, how was it that you decided that you could afford this? What was it that you said, I have to do this? If I don't do this, nothing is going to change. Not even about the opportunity, but just physically, right? Just on your nutrition. What was it that you reallocated in your budget, or something that you made the decision that you were going to do this, that it was that big of a priority?
Yeah. So I think that the sort of the rock bottom that I think a lot of people get to is when you really feel like you don't have control of what's happening to your body specifically. So I think what was happening is that not only was I feeling it, but people were noticing it about me. And I think that that's something that people can relate to as well, that people do start to notice that you're not at your best. And so just because of the way I was feeling and the way that people were interacting with me, and just sort of the toxic lifestyle I was living, as far as things I was eating, my lack of sleep, all of those things were really starting to pile up. And so when I say rock bottom, and I truly mean rock bottom, when I decided to do this, I had a very hard conversation with, specifically with my mom, about, at what point is it too much to handle on my own? I need to do something. And this is a wise investment, because what else can I do? And I can't keep living this way. So how can I make this a priority for myself? And then I had the same conversation with my husband, and it was more than just another diet or another fad that somebody was trying to get me to do. It was really just as important as taking my kids to the doctor or to put food on the table. This was a life-changing moment for me, and I knew that I had to try. There was something inside of me that said I had to try this, because I'm worth it and my kids are worth it, and they were not getting the best pieces of me anymore. So it was not an easy decision because of the finances, but really in the first couple of weeks, once I realized that there was so much money that was going to come back to me just by continuing to share this experience with other people, which I was doing anyway, because it was so phenomenal what was happening to my body. And then the moment that stuff started to come back in cash to me, and I was able to provide that Christmas for my kids, that's when I realized that this was truly an investment in my family. I mean, it was coming back twofold, and I have never stopped. There's never been a month that I haven't placed an order because of what those products have done. We have background, sorry. It's awesome. Real life. Yes, so there's never been a month where I've questioned whether or not to bring these products into our home, because it's not only been good for me, it's been good for my kids. The kids can use the products, my husband's been using the products, and it's really become a staple in our home, and everybody feels better because of it. And so, but it really truly was that rock bottom moment when there was no other option. And it wasn't whether or not I was going to do, it was how was I going to do it, and I was going to make it happen. So, and having those two people come in and do this with me, like my mom and my sister, having those accountability partners really pushed me to commit to that. And to this day, they are still my two accountability partners. So it's been a very powerful journey for the three of us, just knowing that we're all improving our lives and sticking by each other's side and really encouraging each other, because it is a process for everybody. We're always continuing to grow and continuing to feel better. And it's not a quick fix, it's a lifestyle. So making that decision was not easy, but there was no other option. So
did you think it would be fair to say too that maybe like you saved in other areas of your life, like you kind of switched where you were spending food, or that you reallocated, that investment into Isagenix?
Right. Yeah. So I think that was part of the conversations that we were having, is if this is going to be a part of our lifestyle now, what needs to change in our lives? And so as far as, we were spending money got Starbucks once, twice a day, just to keep myself energized. I hardly ever go anymore. I don't need that pick me up. It's more of a treat if I do. And so things like that really add up have really sort of fizzled out of our lives. We don't have to eat out nearly as much. It's still, again, a treat. Our groceries are significantly less because, like I said, these products are good for all of us in the family. So that's where we started to cut back. And then just making that commitment to these products and to our health, the mental shift for us, because it has become a priority, just the spending in our life has changed. And we really value and respect the money that comes back as well. And really planning our future for what we want it to be, both health and financially. So I think that it really has taught us how to save our money in other places that were unnecessary and toxic in our life.
So when you, first got started and you had your mom and your sister do it with you, and that was just on the products, like you said, your lifelong accountability partners. And then you saw the, rebates or like the referral bonuses that Isagenix gives you. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then you were ignited because you realized how bad you were suffering financially as much as physically. With someone who doesn't have a previous sales background, we shared that you're a teacher. We're a teacher. Yeah. Never done network marketing. What were some of the first things you did? I mean, how was it that you shared this with people? Or what was it that you did to go help others that were, like you said, suffering with the same things and getting them excited about both a physical or financial transformation?
This is such a good question, because I think that to this day, 2 years in, I don't feel like I've sold anything a day in this process. I've never sold anything. It's truly just been sharing my story, because like having me on this call today is so powerful, because like I said before, I didn't ever think that my insignificant story was going to have any impact. But the more I share it, the more that people come to me and say, oh my gosh, you're the Christmas story girl. And I can't even tell you, you've lived a parallel life to me, and what do I do? How do I get out of this place? And so now my story is, I'm not just sharing about our products anymore. I'm sharing about the products and what that can do for you, not only physically, but financially. And so it is not selling at any point for me, because it is just the passion of sharing my story, and how it's evolved over the last 2 years, and that I'm coming up on this third Christmas with Isagenix, and how powerful that is compared to the contrast of what it was in 2014. So I think that in the beginning, I was so overcome with excitement just about how I was feeling on the products, that and that's all it took. That's all I needed to say, and people were wanting to know what was going on and what I was doing, and it really became a gift that I could share with people. And it has turned into a team of so many people that wanted the same thing. And it's just it's so amazing to watch people decide that they don't want to suffer in silence anymore. So it's just very powerful.
I love it. I'm going to ask you just a couple more questions. And I know that I want to be respectful of your day and our listeners' time as well. But a lot of people are probably thinking, as they're listening to this, like, how in the heck did she do some nutritional program? I don't really know what it was, but how did she do that through the holidays? Like, how did she not drink eggnog? How did she not have pumpkin pie? Can you talk to us a little bit about how you probably did still have some treats and creative still got results?
I got to tell you guys, I have a sweet tooth. I like my dessert wines. I like all of the food, the stuffing, all the good stuff. But I have found this balance now that is so powerful. So the last three holidays are the only holidays in my entire life that I didn't gain weight over the holidays. I did not gain, which is unheard of, because I was enjoying all the treats, all the food. I was not limiting myself at all. Just maintaining my lifestyle, throughout the days that I could. And then if I couldn't, great, that was fine. And it was no big deal. And I just felt better, and it's so different when you're not depriving yourself. You don't need to deprive yourself, because that's just going to create this dynamic, this bitterness with yourself. And those of you that have gone through harsh diets, you know what I'm talking about. And this is just such a a balanced lifestyle. It really is a balanced lifestyle so that you can enjoy, you foodies out there can really enjoy the food. But it's your body is already prepared to go into the holidays because you've done your cleansing, you've done your shakes, your high protein, you've done all these things already to prepare. So when you go into the holidays, you can enjoy yourself, and it's really, it gives you a whole new perspective on the holidays, that's for sure. So I don't know.
Last question. You, in the very, very beginning of your story, you said, I didn't know anything about residual income, and if you don't know what it is, you should find out what it is. I would love, in your words or your experience, to share with our listeners and viewers, what the heck is residual income? What does that mean to you?
Residual income is the most beautiful thing. So I come from a very, I came from a very strong mindset that you had to work time for money, right? You had to be very much in an employee mindset where if you work, you get paid, you work, you get paid. Well, with the residual income, what I started to recognize was that when my kids would get sick, I could take time to be with them and still get paid for what I had done previous. And that has continued every week. Every week I get paid for what I've done in the past, for the people that are still going through their transformations and using their products, and it just continues to pay me. And it has created such a freedom in my life, knowing that as the holidays are coming up, the next few weeks, every week, I'm going to get some money to use for the holidays and not have to work any harder for it or take any more time away from my family to earn it. It really is, it's something that is such a life changer for so many families. And I think for me, it's really become something that I would never want to live without now. So if you don't have residual income in your life, that's something you need to pursue, because it really, especially when you've got the young kids that need you and need your time, to be able to take away and do that with them and not have to worry about putting food on the table. It's just an amazing freedom that I intend to continue to grow. So.
Well, you are amazing, and I want to thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule with all the things that you juggle to, light up so many other people and share your stories. You guys, whoever shared this with you, because that's the whole purpose, is we believe that we transform lives by sharing stories, that whether it comes from me, it comes from Alex, it comes from another person in our company, another friend or family. Know that they shared it with you because they care about you, they love you. Know that they're sharing it with you because they hope that if it can happen for Alex, it can happen for you. And we just invite you to go back to them. I think that there's so many success stories in Isagenix, physically and financially. And I'm another one that Isagenix totally blessed my life, first with my health, and then, with the opportunity. And I started in the holidays a year before Alex. Isagenix was introduced to me in the fall of 2013, and that October, November, December was the most wild 90 days of my life because I knew it. And I was like someone too, I couldn't really afford it, but you make a way. And when someone offers you an opportunity or someone shows you the vision of how different your life could be, sometimes you have to say yes and figure out how to do it later, just say yes and dive in. And I was a lot like Alex, that there was nowhere else to go. And if you want to change and you want your pants to fit, you want that black dress to be amazing, you don't want your checking account in the red, you want to pay off debt, you want to go serve others, that this is for you. So we wish you a really happy holidays. We thank you guys for watching. Please go shine the light on others, share your stories, share our stories, do whatever it takes, but don't judge if this is a good time or a bad time for others. You never know when it's the perfect time. And we just hope that everybody reaches their dreams, their goals, and really, really lives their life to the fullest with the greatness they have in them. So Alex, we love you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, you guys. We love you.